All right, we have the 5070 again, and someone has requested Alan Wake 2 with this particular card. It was on my list, so I'll go ahead and jump into this title with it. We are rocking everything maxed out, DLAA, no help whatsoever, and we are at 10 FPS. So we are looking pretty bad here, actually, but I want to call out that even with everything going on, we are still under that VRAM buffer. We are at 11 of allocated and utilizing 10. So even demanding titles like this can get that VRAM buffer under control. So what you're seeing now is what the actual card can do. It's not being, uh, you know, temporarily or artificially, whatever you want to call it, hindered by just simply running out of VRAM. When the CUDA cores want to do more, but they just have this VRAM speed limit. So this is a title that's been out a few years, and it's probably had some optimizations done. So let's just go ahead and jump into the options and see what we can do as far as the graphics settings go. So the first thing we want to do, of course, is to kick on some quality DLSS and see what that does for us. This is the legacy mode toggle, where that is the old DLSS 3. So we want to make sure to leave that off, because that indicates here you'll leave it off for best image quality. It's probably there for some sort of compatibility if you run into that kind of thing. So everything is very much maxed out, high and ultra, to the game settings here. All right, so that gave us a little bit more playable experience. Not great, but we are at 18 FPS. And again, note that that VRAM has gotten a little bit better. We are in a heavy area with a lot of vegetation, so this is something that is hard to render. I wanted to make sure that we were in an area that was not exactly easy on this card. So I don't want to start any story elements, so I'm just going to go back here and try some more settings in this area. Again, I don't like to ruin any story elements for anyone, so sometimes the game will make me turn around. That motion blur is very strong right now. So that's not the game, that's just my settings on the motion blur here. Alright, so let's jump over here and let's see what we can do. Quality preset, all the way down. Let's ease up on the ray tracing. That seems to be a really big factor going on here. So we'll just leave that on high, and we'll get everything else looking good too. We're going to cut this path tracing down to high as well, and let's jump into it with these settings. Didn't really do too much, so let's try again. Let's go back into, I just want to give everyone the full gamut of what your options look like with this particular card, just in case you are considering it. Let's see, let's just go with high there, and let's just turn our path tracing off completely. Let's just see what that does for us. And that gave us a little bump up to around 1820. And I want to note that this game is pretty slow paced. If you want to get to that 60, by all means go for it, but if you play with a controller, especially on a title like this, you don't necessarily have to get to that 60. I think that around 40 would be perfectly fine. Okay, let's jump over here and let's do some more adjustments. Go into options, graphics, and let's see what we can do as far as performance. Performance in DLSS 4 is very good, and let's just make sure that nothing changed down here. Okay, I'm going to use my mouse and keyboard just so I don't make any kind of mistakes. And let's see, let's go back and resume the game. Okay, now we're talking. 41, 43. So this feels a lot better. Again, this is performance DLSS with path tracing turned off, so we still have some ray tracing going on, but your path tracing, your big performance killer, is off at this point. So this is again a 5070. If I haven't said that before, you jumping into this title, if you've missed it, it is a 5070 GPU that we're testing in this wooded area right here. And again, I'm just going to go into this coverage a little bit more here. I don't want to start a story element, so I'm just going to look around here, go up here and see what we're working with. Stays around 40, 39 right there. Okay, so let's see what we can do as far as just some simple adjustments. Let's go to graphics, and we are at full screen. We are at 4K. And I'm going to test 1440 as well, because this is definitely not a 4K card for this type of game, but I just wanted to show what it could really do on a 4K monitor. So right now we've got ray tracing, so let's turn ray tracing off and let's jump back in. Let's see if this is a 4K card for this title without ray tracing. And it does look like it is. Again, we are at 4K. We've turned ray tracing off. Of course, path tracing goes along with that. So we tried path tracing off. Now we're ray tracing off. So this is above 60, again on performance DLSS. So let's see what the game wants us to do here. It's not probably going to let me go down there just because I'm pretty early game. I actually have not played this game yet. I got it a long time ago and I just have not gotten around to it. Let's go up in here. So it looks like around a 60 FPS experience would be the settings. Performance DLSS with no ray tracing, everything else is high or maxed out completely.
I'll be back in a second.
Still looks very good. There's nothing wrong with playing it this way. You might miss a little bit in the more lighting intensive scenarios, but all in all, this isn't a game in my mind that benefits hugely from ray tracing, from what I've been able to see from other creators. And this does have the 2x, 3x, and 4x. Let's just go ahead and kick on that 4x and resume the game. And what do we got here? Look at there. We got enough VRAM to do this, unlike Indiana Jones. We're up in 163. And look at there. We didn't crash or anything. Our VRAM allocation is under 11. And the utilization is around 10. So this really does speak volumes to a game that can manage that VRAM buffer and give you a good experience without just destroying your VRAM, unlike some games out there, Indiana Jones. But yeah, anything else going on here will just be better at 1440. So I'm going to test that real quick. It's going to make me turn around here. That's a good place to stop. So let's jump over into 1440p. And let's see. 1440p. Gonna flicker a little bit. Okay, there we go. We're back. And let's jump into DLAA. And let's turn this off. I'm just kind of resetting everything back to where it was before we ended our 4K test. Let's drop that path tracing and mine went blank. What's it called? Path tracing and ray tracing. Alright, so 20 FPS here. I may have triggered a story element. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, that's good. Alright, let me get away from this area here. Go back over here. Alright, so in some woods. Let's turn around. 23. Alright, so not ideal, but we can make it better. I love the fact that this VRAM is not getting totally maxed out. That's a good sign. Options. Let's jump over here and let's kick on some of the quality DLSS. So from DLAA to quality DLSS. And there you go. We've got almost 40. So that's not too bad. I was expecting this. This is about where I wanted it to be. So that means that if you kick on that performance, you're going to have a pretty good time playing 1440 with full ray tracing and path tracing in this title on a 5070. So that's a good sign. That's definitely something that speaks to the value of this card a little bit more. I know that prices are not evened out whatsoever right now, but if you can get it at the MSRP, and you're looking at a title like this, look at there. I mean, you're at 50 now at this type of game, 45, 46 with full ray tracing and path tracing. I personally play on a controller. There's a little 8-bit do controller that I use. I'm old school. I like the controller, especially for titles like this that are a little bit slower anyway. And yeah, if you kick on that FSR, not FSR, if you kick on the MFG, there's so many acronyms to keep up with in today's PC gaming world. But if you kick that on, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? There it goes. If you kick that on, then you're going to have some really nice frame rate. Yeah, so here we go. 154, 132, 137. And it is a little bit soft looking. I mean, we're at 1440. And we're upscaling from quality, which is, let me double check myself here. Yeah, it's 1280 by 720. So if you really wanted to up that a little bit, you're going to get a little bit sharper image. The quality DLSS setting seems to obviously be indistinguishable, but just to note, this is a subjective opinion. I am on a 4K monitor, and I am upscaling to 1440. So it's going to look a little bit blurrier for me than if you were on a native 1440p monitor, but very playable. I mean, again, this is on a controller, and I have no problem with it. I mean, even with a mouse and keyboard here, you know, I mean, a lot of blur going on. I'm going to see if I can correct that. I don't really know where it's located in here, but let's turn that off, because let's see, transparency, I don't really know where it's at. Motion blur, let's turn that off. Film grain off, and lens distortion. There we go. Oh man, that's a lot better. That film grain was really making it look kind of shitty, to be honest with you. This is quite a bit better. So yeah, I mean, if you're at 1440 and you've got a 5070, this is kind of what you can expect. You know, I mean, this is, just to run it down one more time, we are at balanced settings, 1440, 4x on your frame gen, and we're not hitting 60 as native as a base frame rate on this, but it's also a much slower title, so you can get away with a lot more when it comes to what your base frame rate is. I'm just scrolling through these settings real quick. Everything's high or ultra, and everything seems to be looking really nice. I mean, if we really wanted to go to medium on our textures and not run that frame gen, and then bring this back up to quality, you might get some better results here. It is much clearer looking with that quality setting, and we're at 36 FPS, so not as much as you would want to see as far as a base frame rate goes. But again, it's all personal preference. You know, if you really don't mind your frame rate being a little bit lower, you can definitely play a title like this. It's a pretty slow game. You know, it's not anything that's like an FPS, or like, you know, where quick movements is necessarily important. So if you really wanted to see what it looks like, though, just for those still on the video, thank you for sticking around, because I know this is getting quite long. I try to make shorter content, but I really wanted to dive in pretty deep with this, just to see what we could do as far as what everything goes. Let's just go with the medium preset and see what that does. Again, 5070 quality DLSS, and bam, we are not much different. I saw it hit 60 and I thought, man, we're gonna hit 60, but no, we're at 39. All right, so we're looking pretty much like we're not gonna be able to do I need to get to the right tab here. Looks like we're not gonna be able to do the path tracing and maintain good frame rates, which is not a surprise. All right, so here you go, you're at 60. So medium settings, I'm just gonna run through this again. So we are at 1440p. We are not utilizing any frame generation at all. We are at full medium preset, and that, you know, does some things here for us where we don't have to mess with it. And our path tracing is off, but we still have ray tracing turned on here. I'm not sure what the preset has necessarily given us. It just says custom, but it looks like it's given us probably a medium preset on that as well. But that would be how I would probably play this at the 1440p resolution. And then since you're at 60, you might as well hit that 4x and look at your VRAM allocation. Well under, 10, well under the allocated VRAM, the not allocated VRAM, but the VRAM limitations of this card. And this is just what optimization can do. I mean, if you're seeing any flickering or anything over my performance meter, I believe that's just on my screen. Oh, you might, there it is. It is showing up for you guys too. That's just the overlay. That's not the game. But yeah, I mean, look at there. You can do this game with a 5070 with some, kick it down to medium and enjoy some ray tracing, and then a 4x on your frame generation. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Again, I don't want to get into the story at all. If I wind up in a more intensive area than this, I might do another video. But this looks like a good place to stop. So yeah, if you are wondering what the 5070 can do in Alan Wake 2, this is it. Thanks for hanging on. Be sure to subscribe if you got something out of this, and check out my other videos, and we will see you in the very next one. Peace.